Hello children, I hope all are fine and all are doing your works properly. Okay, let's start our maths class. Today we are going to start with exercise 1.4, but before exercise 1.4, that is before going to exercise 1.4, we have some points to recollect so that we can apply it in the exercise and we can proceed with our sum. So in the previous class we have seen the different transformations. That is, we have seen three different transformations. One was a reflection, and the second one was translation, and the third one was dilation. So what are the three different transformations? The first one is reflection, and what is the second one? It's translation, and the last one, that is the third one, is dilation. So we have these three different transformations, and that is, in the previous class we have seen about detailed study of reflections. That is, we were having three useful reflections. So one was like that, y is equal to, if you have function y is equal to f of x, and if you get a new function as y is equal to f of minus x, the reflection, where is the reflection? If it is minus fx, okay, first one is y is equal to minus fx, the reflection is about the x-axis. So y is equal to minus fx, the reflection is about where? About the x-axis when you have minus. If you have the graph as y is equal to fx and you have y is equal to f of minus x, so they have asked, that is, if they give you y is equal to fx and they are asking you to plot a new graph of y is equal to f of minus x, here there's a difference. The minus is out of the function and here the minus is with the x. So when you have such a function to be plotted, where will be the reflection? The reflection is about y-axis. So here this is a direct plotting, just we have to follow the definition and we are going to plot the graphs. Okay children, the next one was the inverse function. Suppose you have an inverse function, how are they going to lie? The inverse function will be like the reflection about y is equal to x. Suppose you have an inverse function, we have a function f of x and f inverse x. So just put here, we had seen one example yesterday, children. We have seen y is equal to e raised to x, and also we have seen that y is equal to log x to the base e. So these two were inverse function. If this is f of x function, this is a inverse function. Yes. So if we have a function and also its inverse function, and if you are plotting such type of function, how you get? You get a reflection about y is equal to, that is, one f of x will be lying this part, that is opposite to y is equal to it, x, and here f inverse x will be lying. So it will be a reflection about y is equal to x. So just think of this three condition, just remember this condition and you have to apply this condition when we go for the sums. Okay, so let's have one more time the recap. If you have a function y is equal to fx, and if they have given you to plot y is equal to minus of fx, then the reflection will be about the x-axis. And if y is equal to f of x, and if you are going to plot y is equal to f of minus x, when I say, you may hear everything the same, you may think that ma'am is saying the same thing, but just listen to the words carefully. Y is equal to fx, and here it's y is equal to minus of fx. If you have y is equal to x cube, here minus means the minus is in the front, minus x cube. Here if you have x, it will be taken as minus x, root of x minus root of x. So if you have such a condition, you say the reflection is about y-axis. Okay, and if you have a inverse functions, if you get a inverse functions, how are they going to lie? They will be a reflection about y is equal to x. That is, they are going to lie reflection. That is, there will be a reflection about y is equal to x. So these are the conditions that we are going to follow for the first transformation, that is reflection. Okay, now let's come to the second type of transformation, that is translation. I have told you to write down all the points and also have told you to go for the illustration. I hope you have completed all your illustrations and all your definitions. Yes, children? Okay, so that you have got some ideas. Before I start, you would have got an idea, okay, what is the meaning of translation and what is the meaning of dilation. Okay, now what is a translation, children? See the definition. Come to page 40. So let's see about translation from page 40. A translation of a graph is a vertical or horizontal shift. It is a vertical or a horizontal shift of the graph that produces congruent graph. So you get a congruent graph. A same, congruent means same, similar. Okay. So how will be the shift? The shift will be a vertical or a horizontal shift. So we have totally four different graphs under translation. The first one is y is equal to f of x plus c. So if you have such a graph, that is y is equal to f of x plus c, then it causes the shift to the left. Remember, causes shift to the left. So where is the graph going to shift? The graph is going to shift to the left. And if you have y is equal to f of x minus c, then it causes the shift to the right. Where will the shift? To the right. So remember the condition. So y is equal to f of, so the main will be y is equal to fx, the main function. So if you are adding any particular value, like suppose you are adding any constants to it, then where it is going to do? If you add, it will shift to the left, and if you subtract, it will shift to the right. That is, the graph will shift to the left or to the right. And similarly, if we have y is equal to f of x plus d, this separately, see here the constant is added with the x, with the function, but now here it's totally different. The function is separated and it is added with some constant d. So in such case, it shifts to the upward. The shift is towards the upward. And when you have y is equal to f of x minus d, the shift will be towards the downward. Upward and downward. So just remember. So when you have a function y is equal to f x plus c, the shift is to the left. When it is x minus c, the shift is to the right. And when you have f of x plus d, the shift is upward. And when you have y is equal to fx minus d, the shift is towards the downward. So just think of this. These statements are very, very important. We have to know the statement. Okay, children, let's go for the illustration part there. Just see the illustration part. So what is the function given to you? The function is f of x is equal to mod x. See there? So you have a function. And now see the second part. So where is f of mod x? So you have function. I'll just explain to you this in detail. So let us consider a function mod x. So you have function mod x like this. This is 0. This is y is equal to mod x. Okay. Now what we are going to do? We are going to take one new function. What is that? Y is equal to mod x plus 1 and or minus 1 they have given. Yeah, its first is minus 1. So let's go for minus 1. Minus 1. Okay. So minus 1. So let's see how to shift it. So when it is minus 1, what happens? It's minus 1, yes. So it causes the shift to the right. Remember, when you have a number line, this is your origin 0, and this side, the positive side, is called the right side, and the negative numbers, that's wherever you write the negative numbers, that is called the left side. So where are we going to shift? We are going to shift the graph towards the right. Okay, right means where? Okay, exactly where I have to stop. Okay, for that purpose, you have to see the number. Okay, what is the number used here? It's 1. So you are going to shift How many units? You're going to shift 1 unit. Where it is going to get shifted? It is going to get shifted to the right side. That means now here it starts from here. Yes, children, 0. So it's going to shift to this side. Somewhere here. To the right. Clear? Okay. So let's plot a graph. So it's going to start from here. So the 0 is going to shift here. So you get a graph like this. Directly, see, we are not going to do any plottings, no table, nothing, directly. What is done? The graph is shifted towards the right for 1 unit because we have a constant here as 1. So this is the value for mod x minus 1. Okay, let's go for y is equal to mod x plus 1. Okay, remember when you have minus 1, where are you going to move? To the right. And when you have plus 1, you are going to move to the left. Okay, what is the original function? We have a function as y is equal to mod x. Now what are you going to find out? Mod x plus 1. Okay, children. So plus 1 means where are you going to move? You are going to move towards the left. For how many units? 1 unit. Yes. So it will be here, somewhere here. So it's like this. So this is y is equal to mod x plus 1. I hope the figure is clear to you. Yes, children. Just your own. That's why I say the definitions are important. If you are clear with the definitions, we are able to plot our graph directly without plotting any points. Okay, children. So let's study the rule. Okay, now let's go for the third part. I hope you have been clear with the translation part. So if you go for illustration 1.9, you get an idea of the next two rules. That is where it will be shifted. It will be shifted upward. Upward means, see now here, upward means 1 unit. If you have the number 1 means it should be taken from here, upward. If you have 2, plus 2 means you have to shift how many units? 2 units. If you have plus 5 means shift to 5 units. So the shifting, how many units? It will be given to you in the function itself, where there is a number. So you have to focus on the numbers and that many units you have to move. Maybe it will be a leftward or a right or upward or a downward. Clear? Okay, so now let's go for, so like dilation. So before I go to dilation, you have to just go for your illustration 1.9. So 1.9 gives you an idea about mod x minus 1. That is f of x minus d and f of x plus d. So just see how is the shift. So first it was in 0, yes. That is y is equal to mod x was in 0. Then y is equal to mod x plus 1 is shifted upward. So from 0 it is starting from now 1. And similarly for mod x minus 1 it is starting from minus 1. That is given in page 41. Clear? So I hope once you see this 2 graph, you'll be clear with the remaining 2 functions. Okay, now let's go for the third one, that is dilation. Now what is dilation? Dilation is also a transformation which causes the curve stretches or compresses. That is, the curve will get expanded or the curve will get contracted. Expanded or contracted. Multiplying a function. So how are you going to check whether the curve is going to get expanded? How we will determine whether the curve is going to get expanded or the curve is going to get contracted? It is with the help of a multiplying factor. Now what is a multiplying factor? Okay, I'll just give you an example and later on I'll explain to you what is the meaning of multiplying factor and so on. I hope you're clear with the first 2 transformations. So let's go for the next transformation. So third one is dilation. Okay, so if we have a function y is equal to x square. Okay, we have a function y is equal to x square. Let's plot it. So x square is around somewhat, how you get the function for x square? It will be somewhat like this, okay, or just a small rough figure. We get a function y is equal to x square. We have a function like this. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to find out one more function which is equal to half of x square. See, now what is done here is being multiplied. Okay, in the previous cases what we have seen, that is in the relation of, that is the first one, that is for transformation first part of reflection. Yes children, for reflection we were focusing on the signs, different signs. The signs were different, like one was minus, or one was the x was with the minus sign, or the function was with the minus sign, or we were dealing with the inverses. And in case of what is that, translation, we added or we subtracted some value to x, or we added or subtracted some value to the whole function. Now the third thing is what we are doing here, we are multiplying the function with some numbers, that is by a number. So this number is called as a multiplying factor. So we here two types of multiplying factor will be used. One will be greater than 1 and one factor will be less than 1. So we have two cases over here. If the multiplying factor is less than 1, what happens? See here children, if the constant is, that is, you can see the second para under dilation, if the positive constant is greater than 1, the graph moves away from the x-axis. Where is the graph going to go? It is going to move away from the x-axis, and if the positive constant is less than 1, the graph moves towards the x-axis. So you have to just follow this condition. Clear? So when you have what? If the multiplying factor is greater than 1, what will happen? Greater than 1, the graph will move away from the x-axis, and if the multiplying factor is less than 1, it will be moving towards the x-axis. So you can, they have given you the explanation below the figure. F of x is equal to half x square causes the graph of the function f of x is equal to x square stretches towards the x-axis. So it's going to stretch. Okay, it will stretch towards the x-axis since the multiplying factor is less than 1. So it will be stretching means it is going to move out. So stretched. So y is equal to half x square. Remember, when it is less than 1, it's less than 1. Yeah, less than 1. The multiplying factor is less than 1, stretches. And multiplying factor greater than 1, compress. So 2x square will be somewhat here inside. Y is equal to 2x square. So stretches and compresses. So you just read on the statement. Once you read the statement, you will be clear with the graphs. Okay children, so we have completed our 3 different transformations, and I hope you have taken in all the definitions and also the illustrations. So now we are going to start with exercise 1.4. So we are going to move to a new exercise. So take down your classwork, write down today's date, write down the first question, write down the first question. For the curve y is equal to x cube given in figure 1.67. So they have given a figure, so we are going to follow that figure. Draw. They are asking you to draw the same, that is using the same what's that, curve. We are going to plot 4 more curves, that is y is equal to minus x cube, y is equal to x cube plus 1, y is equal to x cube minus 1, and y is equal to x plus 1 the whole cube with the same scale. That is, we are going to follow the same scale, just we are going to follow the same graph, and you are going to just have a small transformation. So we may use reflections, we may use translation, or we may use dilation. So let's see how to apply the different transformations and get the required answer. I hope you have taken on the first question. Okay. So you are going to draw the curve y is equal to x cube. Let's start with our exercise 1.4. Okay, take down. So you are going to use your scales and pencils. Be ready. We will go slow. No, we are not going to go. We are not going to hurry up. I'll just explain to you in detail because now we are just going to apply the rules. That's why I told you that without understanding the definition and without understanding the illustrations, we cannot come to exercise 1.4. So just we have got a rough ideas. We have got ideas. Some ideas we have about the different transformations. So we can apply and get the answer. So have you taken on the question, children? Okay, now what you are going to do is, for exercise 1.4, for the first one, that is now we are going to follow for y is equal to minus x cube. You have to draw the graph. For every time we have to draw a curve. This one. They have given a curve, yes? So every time we have to draw a curve. So draw the x-axis, y-axis, plot the points 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You use your scale to plot the points so that your answers will be perfect, children. You get a neat graph. 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Just plot it. Plot the points, and you have to draw the curve which is given in the textbook. They have given you a curve there. So draw that curve, children. The same manner. See how they have plotted according same manner. You take 0, 0, 1, 1 and somewhat 2. It goes so 0 like this. It goes 1, 1 and little it goes like this. It's inside it 2, yes. It goes like this. Just draw the graph of y is equal to x cube. This is a graph of y is equal to x cube. We have not completed our answer part. Just we are going to take the original graph because from this graph only we are going to make the changes. So we have to draw this graph first. And this graph will be done for all the 4 sums. They have given 4 subparts, yes? So we have to show the same. And after drawing the original and later only we are going to use we are going to draw the required graph. Have you drawn, children? Don't take more time. You have to be fast. So I have already told that whenever you attend your maths class, you have to be ready with your scale, pencils and everything. Just do not run after your class starts. Yes, have you taken down the graph, children? Draw the graph neatly. You can just refer your textbook. See the points. You can see the coordinates and you can plot the graph. Is it done? Okay, shall we move? Okay, let's start. Now, y is equal to x cube and you have function y is equal to minus x cube. Yeah, so this is of which function, children? Y is equal to x cube and it's minus. Yeah, where is the minus sign present? The minus sign is present. Where? Before the function. That this is of the condition y is equal to minus. Suppose you have function y is equal to fx. So f of x is equal to x cube, yeah? So here what you have? F y is equal to minus fx. So this is for our reference. So y is equal to minus f of x. This is what we get. Okay, so how will be the graph of y is equal to minus fx? Where are you going to refer? You are going to refer under reflection. See the first point under reflection? Yes, the graph y is equal to minus fx is the reflection of the graph of f about the x-axis. So you are going to find the reflection about the x-axis. See? So it will be like this. So you have a reflection about the y-axis. This is what? About the x-axis. So it will be like this. So 1, 1 means somewhere here it comes. So it's 2. Little inside, yes? So little inside. Here. 2, 2, 2. Just try to draw the 2 somewhat, it will come here. Yeah, 2. Just somewhat it gets like this. And 3, 2. Somewhat it comes here. Okay? See the reflection. So here you can just have reflection. The same reflection. So just go for the reflection. So I have finished the first part, and now I'll just plot the reflection for this part also. So -1, somewhere it's coming here. So how the graph will go? That's why I told you use the graph. It's going like this, yes? So it will take like this. So this is a new, that's reflection about the x-axis. So y is equal to minus x cube. Don't think that we are not taking the reflection about the y-axis. Okay children, we are taking the reflection about the x-axis. I am following this. So taking this reflection and this reflection. So this and this is reflected, and this and this. You get a same reflection. They are reflections about the x-axis. Complete the graph. So I'll write the statement here. The graph of y is equal to minus fx is the reflection of graph y is equal to fx about x-axis. Y is equal to f of x about the x-axis. I hope it's clear to you. Reflection about the x-axis. So this is getting reflected here, and this part is getting, this part is reflected like this, and this part is reflected like this. Reflection about the x-axis. Done? And write down the explanation. So on one page you can use one page for one graph. So we are going to do the graph in our maths classwork itself, but use one page for it. Don't do two graph, it will look very untidy. Just have less. You are going to use just 5, around 10. Yeah, around 10. How many graphs we have totally here? 4. For second sum we have 4, and the third sum we have 1. So 8, 9. Yeah, we have. Okay. So you can use. Done? Okay, now let's go for the second subpart. Have you taken on the answer, children? So how is the graph going to be? The graph is a reflection about the x-axis. So let's go for the second subpart now. What is the second subpart? Y is equal to x cube plus 1. Next, second, y is equal to x cube plus 1. I have told you that for all the 4 parts we have to keep these graphs ready. Zero, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay. So let's plot the graph. First I'll just plot the original graph first. From 1, 1, it goes somewhat like this. Y is equal to x cube. Third subpart, y is equal to x cube minus 1. X cube minus 1. Okay, so just I'm just doing so that you are doing your graph, yes. So I'm just completing the next part also. I'm just drawing the graph and keeping it ready, that's all. 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 1 1, it goes from here to here, it goes from here to here. So y is equal to x cube. Okay. For y is equal to x cube, I told you that we need an original figure and then only we can go for the answer. So have you done the graph for the second one? Y is equal to x cube. Now what is the function, what is the new graph we are going to plot out? We are going to plot y is equal to x cube plus 1, x cube plus 1, yes. So where are we going to refer? We are going to refer from translation the third point, third or which one? X cube plus 1, yes. So we are going to take, yes, the third one. X cube plus 1, a function added with a constant, with a one number, one is over here. So where is your graph going to shift? The graph is going to shift upward. See the statement? Y is equal to f of x plus d causes the shift to the upward. So we are going to write upward. Or you can just have your own imagination. Here if we take the x value as 0 and we are going to add 1. So what will happen to this 0? Where the 0 will go? The 0 will go to the 1. So the graph is going to move 1 upward, 1 unit upward. So I am going to start. So this is my 0 now. So 0 is over here. So just focus on the graph how it looks. So it is somewhat like this. It goes like this, goes like this. So y is equal to x cube plus 1, a shift upward for 1 unit. This is shift upward for 1 unit. So let's write down the explanation. The graph of y is equal to f of x plus d. Plus d means here 1. F of x plus 1 shifts the graph of y is equal to f of x plus 1 causes the shift upward for 1 unit. Okay. It causes the shift upward. So the 0. So we started with 0, yeah? We were having an intersection point at 0. So now where it's starting? The 0 is shifted upward. That is in 1. So the 0 goes to 1. Plotted? This is simple graph. You're understanding. You have to understand the different transformations. That's all. Okay. Now let's go for the third one. I hope you would have done the answer. Yes, children, good. Yes, so it is f of x. There is x minus 1. Good. Yes. So x minus 1 means where is the shift going to be? To the downward. Very good. So that is the fourth part from translation. Yes, children. Yes. So 0 will come to minus 1. Very good. That's what. Once we are clear with the concept, we can just in a snap, what is that? In a fraction of a second, we can plot our graph. So this point is going to shift to minus 1. So it goes like this from minus 1. Yes. So y is equal to x cube minus 1. Write down the explanation here. Complete the explanation. Complete the statement also, complete the graph and complete the statement also. Plotted? Yeah, I'm going slow. So just do the work properly, children. So understand everything will look same, but there's a difference. See all the three graphs, all the graphs are different. So just note carefully. The second one, the 0, from point 0 it shifted to plus 1. And here in the third case, from point 0 it is shifted to minus 1 because you have a function f of x minus 1. So the graph is going to shift downward for the third subpart. So let's write down the statement. So you have to use your scale and you have to plot the points, and then you have to use your, just draw a smooth curve using your hands. So graph of y is equal to f of x minus 1 causes the shift downward for 1 unit. Causes the shift downward for 1 unit. Okay, done. So completed the third subpart. Now let's go for the fourth subpart. What is the fourth subpart? X plus 1 the whole cube. But anyhow, I have to draw the same. First of all, I have to complete that x cube, and then only we can do the transformations. So fourth one. X, y. This is x minus 1 the whole. What is it? X plus 1 the whole cube. Y is equal to x plus 1 the whole cube. So y, x axis, y axis. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay. Have you plotted, children? Okay, so first of all we have to draw the graph for y is equal to x cube. So from here it goes here. Y is equal to x cube. Y is equal to x cube. Okay, so can you tell me this is of which type? Yes, which one, children? X plus 1. X plus 1. X plus 1, it is in translation. We have a translation over here. So we have to see the translation part. So somewhat here. So y is the x plus 1. Plus 1 means it is going to shift to the left side. So from here it's going to start. From instead of minus 1, it's going to start here. So from minus, focus on this, minus 1. So the graph of y is equal to f of x plus 1 causes the shift to the left for 1 unit. Y is equal to f of x plus 1 causes the shift to the left unit. See here, be careful. So for the second cases we shifted to 1. So this is what your focus, you are going to shift. The 0 is shifted to 1. So here the 0, just you can show, highlight your shifting. 0 is shifted to 1. And here the 0 is shifted to minus 1. You can highlight this part. Okay, so see the difference. Here the 0 is shifted to minus 1. And here the 0 is shifted to minus 1. This part. You can highlight your points, children, so that it will be easy. So once we see the points, we come to know that you have understood the concept. Clear? I hope you have completed your graphs. So first of all, you just draw. So whenever you start this type of question, what you have to do is, you just draw the 4. Now they have asked you 4 subparts, so children. So you draw the 4 subparts first, and later on go on completing your new graphs. So sum number 1 we have done. Now sum number 2 will be your homework. Again here the 4 conditions are given. So they have given you a new graph over here. They have given you a graph for y is equal to x raised to 1 by 3. So you have to complete question number 2. So you draw the same graph 4 times, and after that you have to change that is you have to make a new graph. So complete sum number 2. So now homework, exercise 1.4, sum number 2. Let's go for sum number 3, children. Take on sum number 3. Graph the functions f of x is equal to x cube and g of x is equal to cube root of x on the same coordinate plane. Find FOG and graph it on the plane as well. Explain your results. Graph the function f of x is equal to x cube and g of x is equal to cube root of x on the same coordinate plane. That is, they are saying you to draw a graph for x cube and also for x raised to 1 by 3 on the same plane. That is, you are not going to do separate graph for it. You are going to draw both the graph on the same plane, that is on the same graph, and also you have to find FOG. So one more thing, you have to plot a graph for FOG also. So totally we are going to plot the graph for 3 functions. One is for x cube, one is for x raised to 1 by 3, that is cube root of x, and also for FOG. And we are going to see how are they going to lie, and we are going to explain the result. So we are going to see how is the graph lying on. So we have to give you our own result, that is from the graph what you are able to conclude, or what we can conclude from the graph. Let's start with the third sum, children. I hope you have taken down your questions. Okay. So again here, before we plot the graph, we will draw the table, because here in the previous cases, sum number 1 and sum number 2, the curve was given to us directly. Yes, they have given you the figure. Like 1.67 they have given you the figure 1.68, but here we have to draw the figure. So what are we going to do? We are going to draw a table and we are going to get some values for x cube and cube root of x, and we are going to plot it on the graph. Let's start our work. Okay, let's start from here. Sum number 3. So first thing is f of x is equal to x cube. Okay, children. So I'll just draw a table for this function. So first is x and x cube. X, I'll take the value for x and I'll get here f of x. So 0, 1, minus 1, 2 and minus 2. Take some values. 0, 1, minus 1, or you can arrange it properly like this. Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. And then g of x is equal to cube root of x. Now cube root of x is nothing but x raised to 1 by 3. Cube root of x can be written as x raised to 1 by 3, and square root of x will be written as, square root of x will be taken as x raised to half. So cube root of x will be written as x raised to 1 by 3 and so on. So here again we are going to make a table, g of x, x and gx, x, gx. Here we will take some values. Yeah, here again we can take all the values, no problem. Write down all the values. Minus 2, minus 1. Here I'll write in a different manner. Here we have to change. So here we will take 0, yeah, I'll take minus 1, 0, 1, 8 and minus 8 I'll take. Okay, one more I'll take. Just let's complete these 2 tables first, then we'll go for GOF. First we'll find GOF. GOF or FOG? Yeah, FOG. We'll find FOG and then we'll go for the explanation part. So take down the sum. F of x is equal to x cube. Let's plot it. What is cube of minus 2? Minus 2 into minus 2 into minus 2. So it's 8. Minus 8. Minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1. minus 1. 0 into 0 into 0, 0. 1 into 1 into 1, 1. 2 into 2 into 2, 8. So we have completed this part, minus 2. Okay. What is cube root of minus 1? Cube root of minus 1? Cube root of minus 1 is minus 1. Okay, what is cube root of 8? See, actually minus 1 is minus 1 into minus 1 is. So what is cube root of minus 1? So minus 1 the whole cube is written as minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1. So when you take the pair of it, that is from cube root. So not like this, cube root of minus 1. So minus 1 can be written as minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. So when you have to remove the cube root, from 3 you have to take 1. So the answer is minus 1. Cube root of 0 is 0. Again same, cube root of 1 is 1. Only the sign differs. Instead of minus 1 minus 1 minus 1, you have 1 into 1 into 1. 1 can be written as 1 into 1 into 1. So what will be the cube root of 1? The cube root of 1 will be 1. Okay, now let's go for 8. What will be the cube root of 8? 2 into 2 into 2. 8 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2. So cube root of 8 is 2. So 8 can be taken as 2, 2, 2. So from there 1. Again for minus 8, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. So minus 2 is the answer. So we have filled the table for g of x. So we got the values minus 1, minus 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 8, 2, minus 8, minus 2. I hope you have taken down the table. Let's go for one more step, that is we have to find FOG. So let's find out FOG and let's try to plot the graph of FOG also. So what is the meaning of FOG? Yes, tell me. What is FOG? F of gx. So let f of gx. So f of gx. What is gx? Don't take this, children, because it will be little complicated to do the calculation. So we take this format. We'll take x raised to 1 by 3. So x raised to 1 by 3. What is f of x? X cube. That is, in place of x, you have to replace as x cube. So this is x cube. Getting my point? F of x. This is easy. Yes, children. You're just substituting the value for g of x. So f of x raised to 1 by 3. So you get here x raised to 1 by 3. But what is f of x? In place of x, you have x. So this is x cube. So in this place of x, you are going to take x cube. So write x cube whole raised to 1 by 3. So now this calculation is like this, x 3 into 1 by 3. So x raised to 1. So 3 gets cancelled and you get the answer as x. So FOG is equal to x. X means what? You have to plot a table for y is equal to x. We write the function as y is equal to f of x. Yes, children. So xy means that same value. X and y. Minus 1, 0, 1, 2. 1, 0, 1, 2. Because it's same x. So same values, will get the same values. Just focus on the tables. So this is for y is equal to x. Draw all the 3 tables, and now we are going to start with the graph part. So we will draw the graph, and with the help of a graph we will try to explain the result that we get. Shall we start, children? Shall we start plotting the graph? I'll plot the graph that side because I want the value. So come on, you're going to plot the graphs. You know how to plot the graphs? Come on, do it. So use your scales and pencil. See the values we have. We want till 8. So just be careful when you plot the points. You can take a view. You can use till 8. We can draw, yes, children. So you draw till 8. Or you can take 2, 4, 6, 8. It's your choice. Okay, I'll take 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Minus 2, minus 4, minus 6. Minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8. Minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8. Plot the graph first. First plot the graph for x cube. Minus 2, minus 8. Okay, till here, it comes till here. Minus 2, minus 8. Minus 1, minus 1. Minus 1, somewhat here, somewhat here. Minus 1, minus 1. 0, 0. 1, 1, somewhat here, somewhat here. 2, 8. 2, 8. Okay, done children? So here you get 2, 8. See the graph properly? 2, 8. So from here it goes like this. Yes. Yes. Already we have got this graph. We have the graph of y is equal to x cube. Yes, children, in the first question itself, see we get a similar graph when we plot the point. So this is y is equal to x cube. Plot the graph. I want a neat graph. Just do it properly. And you one more work. You are along with the homework. You are going to send a snapshot of all your graphs. I want to see your graphs. So you just take a snapshot of all the classworks. Don't take all the classworks. I don't want all the previous exercise. I want the sums. That is today what we have done. We have done first sum. Yes, children. So anyway, you're going to send me the second sum as homework sum. And now you are going to send the first sum also. I want to see how you have presented your graph. So you're going to send me the first sum and also you're going to send me the third sum. I want to see the graphs, how you have presented. So you have to send the classworks along with the homework. Are you listening to me, children? So for today, just for today's purpose, don't always send me the classwork. For this, because I have to see how is your graph presentation. I want you to submit. That is, I want you to send the classwork along with the homework. There is sum number 1 and sum number 3 that we are doing. So along with the homework, you have to take a photo of your classwork and you are going to send it to me so that I will see how you have presented your graphs. I want it. If you have not sending your classwork, it will be taken as that you have not done your homeworks properly. So send the classwork along with the homework. Okay, I hope you have completed the first graph. Let's go for the second one. Let's find out x raised to 1 by 3. It's minus 1, minus 1. There is minus 1 here. Yes. 0, 0 here. 1, 1 here. 8, 2. 8, 2. 8, 2. Yeah. Here, somewhere here you get 8, 2. And minus 8, minus 2. Minus 8, minus 2. Rub this box. Minus 8, minus 2. Minus 8, minus 2. Okay, here, you get here. So let's try to draw the graph. It goes like this. We have to take from here. It goes here, it goes here, and then it goes here. Yes. See, carefully, draw it properly. From here, it goes to this, and it goes here, then from here it goes like you have a cycle over here, children, like what do you call this, a wave over here. So try to get a wave. You will get a wave. So from minus 8 to 2 here, and from here to 0, from 0 to minus 1, from minus 1 to get a proper wave. To get the proper wave. Yes. try to get a wave. I have a wave, you see. Here one wave is going, again here one wave is there. So we have more waves, yes. See the waves. So you write down here new graph, y is equal, that's g of x. So I'll write here g of x is equal to x raised to 1 by 3. And here you write, this is f of x. Okay, y is equal to x cube is equal to f of x. And g of x is equal to x raised to 1 by 3. One more thing we have to do, we have to write, we have to draw for FOG. So we know the values, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. So around it goes. So it will be a straight line, which will be passing through the wave, so be careful. Yeah, I will get like this. You will get a straight line passing through the graph. Like this. Okay. Okay. This will be y is equal to x. Y is equal to x cube, and you will get y is equal to x. So see, you will just get a wave, and the y is equal to x is going to pass through the wave. Okay, do it. Have you completed the graph? So we have plotted 3 graphs on the same plane. That is, you are just going to use a single graph paper. That is single x-axis and y-axis. You are going to plot all the 3 functions. X cube, x raised to 1 by 3, and x. I hope you have done. Okay, now let's come to the final conclusion. Explain your result. So you are going to explain. So we are going to explain the result. Let's see the result. How is the figure looking like? See, there is a reflection. Can you see? You get a mirror image. See, a line, a mirror. This we have a reflection, again we have a reflection. So if you have a sum which is of the type of reflection, we are having a mirror image over here. Yeah, when you get the reflection about y is equal to x, just recall back. Yes, under transformation, first point, the third point. Under reflection, the third rule. That is, they are symmetrical. That is, they are inverses of each other. You get a the functions are inverse. So y is equal to x cube and g of x is equal to x raised to 1 by 3 are inverse to each other. Okay, so that's what we get from the figure. So let's write down the explanation. F of x is equal to x cube Alright. Shall I write the explanation over here? I'll write down the explanation. I hope you have taken all these points. Yes. The explanation part I am writing here. F of x is equal to x cube and g of x is equal to x is to 1 by 3 are reflections or fx. I'll write like this. Okay, wait. I'll just follow the statement from the definition. F of x is equal to x cube is the reflection. Yeah, this will be the correct statement. Reflection of g of x is equal to x raised to 1 by 3 about y is equal to x. This will be this will be the correct statement. F of x is equal to x cube is the reflection of gx is equal to x raised to 1 by 3 about y is equal to x. Therefore, f of x and g of x are inverses to each other. So with this we complete our sum number 3. So we have explained the result. So we have found the table for x cube, we have found the table for x raised to 1 by 3, and also we have found the table for y is equal to x. From where you get y is equal to x? From FOG. and later on you have to draw the graph. You have to plot all the three on the same graph, and from the graph I see that they are reflections. There is a reflection. So there is a reflection about which axis? It's not about x-axis or y-axis. The reflection is about a line, that is y is equal to x. So we say that fx and gx are inverses to each other. So what is the homework, children? So homework is to complete sum number 2, and along with your homework you are going to submit your classworks, that is sum number 1 and sum number 3. I have to see your graphs and I have to see how you have represented your graph. This is whether you are using a pencil and scale or you are using your pen. I want to see it. Okay children, so we will continue our sum number 4 in the next class.